Good afternoon, family. Thanks for checking out today's broadcast. If you are new here, my name is Jonathan, and I created this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds in 3 years. If you'd like to join the family, hit that subscribe button down below. Also, make sure you click on the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. If you'd like to participate on the discussion, you can join me most weekdays where I go live on YouTube around 4 p.m. Central Time, or outside of the live stream, you can consider joining the Discord I created. There's a link for that down in the description below. Did I already say that? I might have said that twice. If you're interested in getting some ideas of the meals that our family's been enjoying, there's a link down there in the description to a Pinterest board. That is a great place for you guys to get some idea of some of the meals that our family's been enjoying while eating a whole food plant-based meal. Today is day 796, only 4 days away from day 800. So that'll make Monday my day 800, which is just amazing that I've been doing this for almost 800 days. But I've used a combination of a combination of extended water fasting and a whole food plant-based salt, oil, sugar-free diet to lose over 235 pounds so far. I'm excited to reach my goal this year and live the rest of my life at a healthy weight. If anybody has any non-scale victories they'd like to share, I'd love to hear your non-scale victories. If you have any on-scale victories, I love hearing about those as well. If you are succeeding with your diet, let us know what you're doing that you feel like is helping you with your success. If you're failing with your diet, what are you doing that's causing your failures? And at the end of the day, what are some things that you are going to do that will make staying on your diet easier than the alternative? Let's go ahead, switch over to here. Hello, all kinds of wonderful people in here right away today. Cindy and Amy and Rick and Janet and Amy and Christy. Hello, pretty girl's mom, tennis and yoga girl. Everybody's getting in, checking out the video today. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you all had a wonderful evening. Awesome, guys. So yesterday, just kind of a regular day, I guess. After the stream, went home. We had a really good dinner last night, and then let me get on here and we can go over the food, I guess, that we had last night. But we just kind of hung out at home. It wasn't a lot of excitement. I've just kind of been still recovering from the surgery, you know. I've been avoiding taking my pain meds kind of in the morning and throughout the day so that I'm able to drive into work and work. But by the end of the day, it is something where it starts to bug me. And so I've been continuing to take the pain meds in the evening, and it really seems to wipe me out. I'm just so tired by the end of the night. I feel like I'm just falling asleep watching TV each night. So yeah, we just hung out at the house last night, didn't do anything too exciting, but the dinner we had last night was amazing. I'm going to pull up the photo here. I think I have everything going. This is something that we've had in the past. It's like a smoky chili. You can see there's lots of lentils in there, carrots, beans, all kinds of tomatoes and wonderful ingredients in here. But we had this last night. It was really, like I said, I was a big fan of it. We got our kids to try it, and they actually all really were very receptive to it as well, or at least more receptive to it than they are with some of the other meals that we had. So that was a great dinner that we had last night. I would highly recommend that smoky chili that we had for dinner. And then this morning, I feel like we had our oatmeal yesterday, maybe. I think yesterday we had our oatmeal, right? And then, but it just felt like the oatmeal this morning just felt like it was back to normal. Everything was cooked the right way, or the type of ingredients that we normally use, and it was the savory oats, and really a wonderful breakfast this morning. And I never get sick of these oats. Yeah, I guess I can go back into the other pictures I took here real quick, but I'm going to quickly check out the next food photos here. I was getting stuff together at work here, and Carrie had thrown some potatoes in the Instapot. So I started getting lunch ready. And when I took the lid off, I was like, you know what? That is a good looking pot of potatoes. So I snapped a shot of the potatoes. I had about half of these potatoes, and Carrie had the other half of the potatoes. I might have had more than half because I did grab one or two before we had lunch, but just took those potatoes. Ended up, Carrie has decided that we are no longer a couple that can share a bag of broccoli. We must each have our own bag of broccoli at lunch. So she's no longer sharing her broccoli with me. So I had to put another whole bag of broccoli in my lunch today. And it's really just amazing how wonderful it still tastes. I don't get sick of broccoli and potatoes. And it's something that, going into this, if you told me that for just about every day for months you would have broccoli and potatoes for lunch, I would be like, oh my God, that's the most boring thing ever. But it's really not. It's just part of the diet. I have excitement in my diet. It just doesn't, or variety or changes in my diet. It's just not my breakfast or my lunch that is varied. It's the dinners we have that seem to be the most varied parts of our meal. But again, just a huge bowl of potatoes. It's hard to get a perspective when I take these photos, but that bowl of potatoes is just massive. So that was food in the past 24 hours. Cindy's asking, do I find the more starch you eat, the more weight you lose? You ate a ton yesterday and you dropped a pound. Yeah, I don't know if it's specific starches. I know there's been some talk on here, or people have mentioned eating more wet starches versus dry starches. But I, a lot of times, sit there and I'll eat a bunch of potatoes or have a bunch of brown rice noodles, and I'll think to myself, there's no way I didn't gain 5 pounds after all that food I just ate. And then I check the scale and I lost weight. So I don't know that I lose more. Like, I don't food track, so I can't sit here and say, okay, this week I had X amount of starches and I lost X weight. But I'm not afraid of eating starches, and the starches I'm eating are not hindering my weight loss, so they're not keeping me from losing weight. So I don't worry about it too much. But no, it's great when you have that, though, when you feel like you ate all day or you ate a ton of food and then you get on the scale and it surprises you. That's always the best feeling. The scale for me has still kind of been stuck right about the weight that I was, maybe a pound heavier, close to 285. Since the surgery here, I just waiting for things to settle down, and maybe I eat such a controlled diet in some ways that when I have the pain pills that I'm taking for the surgery that I had, I get worried that but Joe here says dried mango is the shite. Yes, dried mango is awesome. I hope you're feeling better, Joe. I know he had said he'd been sick the last couple weeks, so I hope you're feeling better. But yes, I introduced Joe to the dried mango. And he seems to like the dried mango as well. So yes, it is amazing, but it can be too much. You can have too much dried mango. It can cause issues if you're trying to lose weight eating a bunch of dried mango. So I think I answered the question though. The more, yeah, I don't notice, I don't pay attention, but I do know I eat a lot of starches. I do notice that I was talking about my weight since the surgery and having the pain pills and just kind of not knowing how those affect me, because I feel like everything else I eat, I have a pretty good idea how it is affecting me, but I just worry that it's causing me to retain fluids or causing inflammation and slowing down that. But things have been going well with all of that. Something I wanted to talk about here today. It was the title, Stop Losing Weight. What do you mean stop losing weight? Well, what you need to do is you need to get out of that losing weight mindset, and you have to go from losing weight to achieving health. And so as long as I can remember, I've always had a focus on losing weight. How do I lose weight? How do I get to a lower weight? How do I weigh less than I do now? And the focus was always on weight because it was always the cause of my issues. If I lose weight, X will get better. I'll be able to sleep better. My social life improve. My work life will improve. My family life will improve. All I got to do is lose the weight, and all of these things will get better. But in my head, the biggest enemy was always excessive weight. It was about losing weight, lose weight, get rid of the excessive weight. So that was the enemy. And it would always be, what do I have to do to lose the weight? And how fast can I lose it? What can I do to lose the weight? And how can I lose the weight the fastest? And we get so fixated on the weight loss and how quickly we can lose the weight. And what I've realized that over time is that because of this mentality and because of this thought process is that I've actually become a pro at losing weight. Like I am awesome at losing weight. It's the maintaining the weight loss. It's staying at a healthy weight that I am not a pro at. And I, when I think about it, I've lost weight just about every way you can lose weight outside of surgery. I've bought the pills, I did the exercises, I went to the meetings, and the end result of all of that weight loss focus and effort was 525 pounds of failure looking back at me in the mirror each time, and so I succeeded many times at losing weight, but I could never succeed at keeping the weight off, actually doing what I needed to do. And because I couldn't keep the weight off, I was never able to fix those things that I thought that the weight loss would fix. I thought that losing the weight would make my social life better, or my relationships better, or work easier, or life easier. But because I wasn't able to keep it off, it didn't ever solve those problems. Like, it made them go away for a short period of time, but it didn't fix the problems that I was trying to fix. And at some point, you have to realize if you want to see lifelong sustainable changes, that we have to change our focus. It's the excessive weight is one of your problems, but the weight loss isn't the solution. We have to stop looking at our food and saying, how will this help me lose weight? And we have to start saying, how is this food going to help me achieve health? The excitement of that quick weight loss, it happens so quickly and it fades away so quickly. The first couple months of these diets, when you're focusing on your weight loss, it's really motivating and it's really easy to do that. But then as time goes on, the weight loss slows down, and then the motivation goes away. And that's where you have to really start shifting your focus. You have to go from this weight loss, you have to start thinking about weight loss and start thinking how to achieve health. How do I gain health instead of losing weight? And so now my focus is not centered around how much weight I lose each week. I get excited when I get on the scale and I lose weight, but that's not my focus. It's not about the weight loss each week. My focus now is how much time have I reclaimed? How many years had I taken off my life by getting up to 520 pounds? Now, how many minutes, hours, days, years am I gaining back by eating this health promoting food? I spent 40 years torturing my body, just shoving it full of all kinds of crap. And the obesity part of it, the 520 pound, the excess weight of it, that's going to fix itself here within the first 3 years. You know, that I've changed my diet, and over the course of 3 years, the obesity problem is going away. It's the other problems that I'm excited to start seeing go away, or the improvements that I'm going to see from those other things. And there's lots of things that are unseen, you know, like I could have been eating foods that were promoting cancer growth in my body for the last 40 years, but because I haven't felt any symptoms from those cells that are in my body, I just assume I don't have cancer. But the likelihood of, you know, it's, if I was causing that damage that was creating cancer or causing those issues in my body, the 10 years it took to get to the point where it's at now, or the 20 years that it took to get to the point where it's at, is going to take time to heal itself. You know, the damage I did for years of having sleep apnea and having that respiratory issue anytime I fell asleep or took a nap without my CPAP, I was damaging my body every time that I did these things. And that damage was very slight at the time, and my body is slowly healing itself and repairing itself. But overall, my focus has changed. There's nothing wrong with being motivated by weight loss, and that's very much what motivated my starting this channel. But remember that when the weight loss stops, then the motivation will also stop. Instead of focusing on your losing weight, we need to start focusing on achieving health, because every day I feel healthier than I did the previous day. And that is something that prior to starting this challenge, I couldn't say that. Every day I would feel less healthy than the day before. Now I'm reversing all of the damage that I did to my body over the past 20 to 40 years. And it's really adding up, and I'm starting to see the benefits, and I'm feeling how the benefits of being a much lighter version of myself. So when you guys are getting started, I understand that many people are very focused on weight loss, and it's absolutely where a lot of us start, but start to realize that focus has to shift. And by eating a whole food, plant-based diet, I really noticed that the health was shining through. When the weight loss started slowing down, the health improvements were still there, and they were still shining through. And so that would be something where start changing your mindset, start focusing on reclaiming your health, and eventually the issues you have will start to slowly go away. So yeah, I just was really been focused on my health, and I'm so happy to be at 283.8 or under 285 pounds, and to be able to continue to maintain it And to get through this past week and the stress that this past week has caused with the surgery, and to come out on this side of it, not beaten and not defeated or stressed. I don't stress about my food. I don't stress about not having enough to eat or being hungry. Like if I was trying to deal with this recovery and also restricting the amount of food that I was eating, then, you're not only dealing with life, but you're also dealing with the issues of what your brain starts to do when you live in a calorie deficit, because your brain goes crazy. Your brain does not want to be in a calorie deficit. It does not want to stay there. And it doesn't want to choose to be there. Like, that's the toughest part about the environment we're in, is that we are choosing to eat foods that are less dopamine stimulating than other foods. And that is way against what our body's natural instinct is. Our body, the natural instinct is that the higher dopamine response the food gives you, the more nutritious it is, the better for you it is. And in nature, that's generally the case, but we've taken nature out of our food, and so it's changed. Cindy here says that you were overweight to obese for the last 15 years, and although your labs were fine, you didn't realize osteoarthritis was developing in your low back, your hips, and your knees. That diagnosis was your why to eat healthy. Yes. And just like I talked about with the cancer and stuff, is that stuff didn't just develop. And even with going to the doctors and getting checked out, those are things that they're not going to see, because looking inside the body is almost as complex as looking out into the universe. You can look at one part of the body and get a ton of information, but the information you get from that doesn't tell you what's going on with the rest of your body. If somebody does an x-ray of my foot, it's not telling them what's going on with my hand. And in fact, I think the book Whole talks a little bit about that. They have an example with an elephant, where one person that all they're studying is the ear, then all the solutions are going to be revolved around fixing something in the ear. And but anyways, with going to these doctors, if you don't have pain, you're not going to look there. And if you're not looking, you're not going to see it. And it takes time for these things to develop to the point where we notice a discomfort. You can have a lump growing on the side of your knee that gets to the size of a golf ball before you even notice it exists, because it's not impeding on your ability to walk. It doesn't have any pain associated with it. Or maybe it didn't have pain associated with it when it was 3/4 of the size of a golf ball, but once it became the size of a golf ball, that's when the pain came up. Well, in order for it to get that big, it took 10, 15 years to get that big, and you missed it that whole time. Stephanie says, hello, everyone. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too, Stephanie. I hope everything's going great for you. But yeah, and then that diagnosis, that you had to get that diagnosis before you started getting healthy. That is one of my most, one of the things I'm most grateful for with this whole process is that I didn't have that terminal prognosis that caused me to change, or I didn't have some sort of serious health consequence that caused my change. I was slowly dying. I know that my health was in not a great shape, and day to day was rough, getting by, but I never had a doctor say, hey, you have X number of years, or you have to start doing this medicine the rest of your life because of this condition. I never got to that point, but I feel like I was waiting. I was waiting around for like the last 10 years, just waiting for my body to finally be like, all right, there's a pain that's so bad that we have to go to the doctor now. Let's go figure out how to fix this pain. and then go to the doctor and find out it's something terminal, something that requires drastic action. I felt like I was procrastinating until I got a terminal diagnosis from a doctor. And I'm so happy that I didn't wait that long. And I don't know that I would have, I don't know that I would have had to have waited much longer. I feel like had I not changed my life, I don't know that I'm still around today, 2 years later, to talk about it, because I was in such a bad place health wise at the time. And so the, um, you know, but sometimes you have to have that why, it's just frustrating that we get ourselves to that point, but it's just, it's the way it's all part of our instinct. It's all part of, every decision you make is because of some influence in your life or some instinctual aspect of it. And the avoidance of change is something that is, I believe, ingrained in humans because our existence is so rare and so uh fleeting is not the right word, but it's such a amazing thing that we are even here, that whatever happened prior to this moment or whatever got us to where we are right now must be okay, because it got us here and it got us to this moment, and being alive is more rare than anything else in the world. So um uh and that's something that it's extremely tough to change, but when you realize that the changes are needed and that we're changing from an abnormal existence to a normal existence. I really feel that way, that the way I was eating before was abnormal for humans. That if you took all the humans that ever existed over time, the diet that we eat now is nowhere near the diet we evolved from eating, and really nowhere near the diet that we're supposed to be eating. And by changing the way that I eat, I've changed uh everything about my life, I suppose. um I think that was about all I had for today. It's Thursday. I don't know if I'm going to be live tomorrow. So Barb here was asking if she felt like the losing the weight or reversing or the diet was helping with her arthritis here. Um, and Cindy says that she lost 83 pounds, which made a big difference. I imagine that does. The pills and the injections didn't work. All you do is eat a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free, no animal product diet for the last year. And you have a right hip replacement coming, though. Yes, I know many people are waiting for those hips and knees and replacements like that. I'm sure I'll have future possible joint replacements with all the issues I've had with different joints. One of the things I didn't talk about, and it doesn't really have anything to do with health or overall well-being, but I did get rear-ended this morning coming into work. It was not a severe accident. I was not injured greatly by any means. My truck barely noticed any damage. But just, every time I have a scenario that's out of the ordinary happen, I kind of think of how would this have been different if I was overweight? And that really wouldn't have changed this scenario, other than just having to interact with the person who rear-ended me and interacting with the cops and things like that. But I'm sure the person that rear-ended me was super pleased to see me get out of my truck, and I have this big arm brace on my arm and I got my coat draped over my shoulder. They definitely took the brunt of the damage. I don't think I could even, let me see if I took photos. Oh, I did. Problem is all my photos have license plate numbers in them. I don't know what that even if that's a big deal or not. But anyways, yeah, I got rear-ended this morning. We were driving on the road. It was icy out. So if the weather is getting bad where you guys are at, be safe out there on the road. I was traveling down the road. There was actually an accident on the side of the road that there was police and fire responding to that accident. So all of traffic was slowing down. We had gotten past the accident. The traffic in front of me actually slowed down again because some people were turning. And this person must have assumed that traffic was speeding back up and didn't realize that we were actually slowing back down. So got rear-ended. Very simple police report thing. Their car was jacked up. The whole front bumper, the front grille, the passenger side light was knocked out, the hood was damaged. And my truck, if you wouldn't have known there was damage there, I don't know if you did, you wouldn't have thought it was anything new. So it's amazing the difference that vehicles are, how quickly or how much they just crumble up front. Like the repairs on their vehicle is going to be far worse than the repairs on my vehicle. But got everything done and handled with that, and got to work at a reasonable time. But we had to wait for the police to get done with the previous accident. Then they came over, checked on us, and got us on the road. So if you're out there driving, be safe. Leave lots of extra stopping space. If it, what was the other vehicle? The other vehicle was a Buick Rendezvous. Gosh, is that what that is? I know it's a Buick. I think it was a Buick Rendezvous. It was a, yeah, I don't think I can. Let me see if I can do something real quick, and then I can, okay. I'm just trying to see if I can. There we go. I can do that, and then I can pull their photo of their car up, I guess. So it's not a smart car. No, it was not a smart car. Let me see here. So this was the front end of their car. That's the front end of their car. Passenger side headlights missing. Hood's all damaged. Bumper got screwed up. Lots of plastic damage on their vehicle. So on my vehicle, I suppose I can do this real quick. I'll do it again. Yeah, that's fine. We'll do this. Why isn't it doing it? Oh, they need it darker. There we go. So then on my vehicle, you can see the extent of the damage here. So this is, I kind of circled it with that black. Oh, shoot. Well, there's my license plate number if you're looking for my license plate number. But that was the extent of the damage to my truck. So we were going very slow, and it was, yes, a little dimple. Or maybe that was the comment to the other car. But so yeah, that was my morning. So be safe out there. But that's about all I have for today. I am going to get out of here. Oh, shut up, computer. I don't know if I'm live tomorrow or not. I got to talk to Carrie. We have some things going on this weekend, so I'm not sure if I'll be live tomorrow, but I'll try to post on the Discord, maybe even post something on Instagram, which would be crazy. But I appreciate all your guys' support. And it really helps me with this, the having the group really having other people that are eating this way and having that support, it really helps. And I hope that it helps you guys as well, knowing that there's other people out there trying to eat this way like you. So you guys all have a wonderful evening. If you have not subscribed to my channel, get subscribed to the channel. If you've not clicked on the bell icon to get alerted when I go live or post new videos, make sure you do that. If you've not commented down below and hit the thumbs up, absolutely make sure you do that. And last but not least, if you have not started your diet yet, get started right now. There's nothing more important than your health and your overall well-being. There's nobody that reaches their goal, looks back and says, I wish I would have waited. What was I thinking? I was in such a hurry to lose all that weight. Nobody ever says that. Everybody looks back and says, what was I thinking? Why didn't I get started sooner? So you guys all have a great evening, and we will talk to you later.